It's time for today's Daily Double Free Play video, powered by WagerTalk. I'm Ted Savransky, Teddy Covers, and on this video, we're going to talk about the Cubs and the Orioles. We're going to talk about the Mariners and the Marlins, a pair of big game breakdowns for Tuesday's MLB slate as we head into the All-Star break just 6 days away. We got a chance for a little R&R for a couple of days. Looking forward to that. But between now and then, there's money to be made. Let's figure out how to make some for today with this Daily Double video. Again, powered by WagerTalk. I'm Ted Savransky, Teddy Covers, and we're going to start by looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen. And guys, get a free 7-day trial, oddslogic.com/Teddy. I use it every day. I endorse it every day. It's a good freaking product. Try it, oddslogic.com/Teddy. Anyhow, looking at the screen right now, the Cubs slight favorites, minus 115-ish in Baltimore. If you shop around, you can find a better number than that. Total in that game, 9.5 juice to the under. There are a handful of 9s juice to the over in that concept. Of course, when we talk about MLB totals, 9 is the keyest of key numbers. Much like 3s and 7s in football, 9s in MLB for totals. The 8.5's worth something, the 9.5's worth something. That's why we oftentimes see 9.5 juice to the under, 9 juice to the over, like we are in this Cubs-Orioles game. And we know Chicago's MO, okay? This team has been as streaky as any team in baseball. All right, when the Cubs are hot, you bet on the Cubs. When the Cubs are cold, you bet against the Cubs. And they've been that way all year. You know, as in my mind, one of the easier handicaps in MLB this season is Chicago, when the arrow's pointed up, you just bet on them. When the arrow's pointed down, you just bet against them. Right now, well, they're 6-2 in their last 8 ball games. They've pounded out 54 runs in the process. I know they had a 23-run game, but they've also been hitting the ball well even when they didn't have the 23-run game. So this is certainly a lineup that's been clicking. Manager Craig Counsell, quote, "I'm really optimistic that we have a really good 70 games ahead of us." And I agree with that assessment. You know, there's upside for the Cubs. This is a team whose arrow is pointed up in general. We think Chicago is going to be a playoff team. We think Chicago has a chance to make some noise over the back 70 games of their schedule. And in the short term, we look to be on the Cubs. They're hot right now. They're a streaky team. And, you know, it's a Baltimore squad. It's worth noting, by the way, Chicago has a better road record than Baltimore has a home record this season. And it's also worth noting, while Chicago's hitting, Baltimore isn't. The Orioles' bats, when I say, like, what's been disappointing about Baltimore this season, you can go everything. The bullpen hasn't been very good. The starting pitching hasn't lived up to expectations. But they were supposed to hit, and they really haven't hit all that well this year. They've held to 4 runs or less 7 times in their last 9 ball games. Another sub-500 stretch for the Orioles. And most of my wagers, not all of them, but most of my wagers tend to be action wagers. I want to be on a team or against a team. I'm looking at current form. And this is an action wager as well. I'm not, too concerned about the starting pitching matchup here. I don't love Matthew Boyd for Chicago, but he's certainly serviceable. He's a veteran who knows how to get himself out of jams, and I like the Cubs bullpen a little bit better than the Orioles bullpen. But the bigger issue here is Shane Baz for Baltimore, because he just threw a season-high 109 pitches in his last outing. The Orioles 4-12 in his last 16 starts. I think Chicago very live today in Baltimore. Short chalk worth laying. If I'm going to get involved, it's Cubs or pass for this better. Before I talk about the Marlins and the Mariners, I do want to let you know what's going on right now at WagerTalk.com. It's $5 Tuesday. I have my 4% AL game of the week, $5 right now. I have a West Coast wipeout, $5 right now. And really, we do $5 Tuesdays for your first timers. If you've never been a purchaser of WagerTalk.com, never bought picks before, today's your day to try it out. $5, going to get you on board, whether it's me or there's any of the guys at WagerTalk.com. But I encourage you, first timers, give us a shot today. It's the middle of MLB season. It's a week before the All-Star break, and get on board for $5. I like both of my plays. I like them a lot. Obviously, I got an AL game of the week. But check it out. Again, wt.buzz/TC, or just visit the website, WagerTalk.com. A great opportunity if you've never bought from WagerTalk.com to get on board for a bargain price. Thank you for your support and your consideration. And speaking of thanking you guys, man, I really appreciate the support these Daily Double videos are getting. Genuinely. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the follows. 250,000 of you now following WagerTalk TV on YouTube. Why? We put out good content every single day, not just me, lots of guys. So again, like, follow, and subscribe. We are like, comment, follow, whatever you want to do. We appreciate it very, very much. And again, the comments make all the difference. Even that thumbs up makes all the difference. Bing, hit that like button. Thank you for doing us a solid. Now, let's talk about the Mariners and the Marlins. And this is a really interesting game. Because at first glance, you look at Miami, you go, man, the Marlins are cheap in this game. You know, Meyer's been really good. Meyer's been ace-level hurler all year long. At home against Seattle, who has been a little bit of a disappointment, Brian Wu for the Mariners has as sharp a home-road dichotomy as you're going to find. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Really good in Seattle, really bad everywhere else, consistently bad. And yet, you know, I'm seeing Miami. Again, look at the Odds Logic Live odds screen. I'm seeing minus 118s, minus 119, minus 125. You know, it's not like we're being asked to lay any sort of price with a team that's been as hot as any in baseball for the last month. Miami, what are they? I got them 23-8. Is that right? 23-8 their last 31 games? Yeah, since June 1st. That's the best record in baseball. All right. And Max Meyer has been brilliant. You know, he's been as good as anyone. Bet on all the way. You know, you look at Meyer's number, he's the top 20 starter in all of baseball, minimum. You know, they've won their last 9 at home, started by Max Meyer. They're 9-1 and in their last 10 at home at all. Meyer's given up 183 innings pitched this season, given up a grand total of 78 hits. Can't get on base against the guy. Can't score against the guy. Miami's the hottest team in baseball. And yet, pick them. You know, the markets are telling us something. A, they're telling us that don't drink the Marlins Kool-Aid just yet. I understand they've had a really nice run, but we project Miami forward. I'll take the under on 23-8 over any 31 game span the rest of the year. You know, they've just played the best ball they're going to play. So when we project Miami forward, we can't do that. And Seattle's not the same way. When we project Seattle forward, we see a team that underachieved a little bit, a team that's kind of found their way over the last couple of weeks, and a team with the arrow pointed upward right now. So moving forward, you know, you say, who are you going to make more money with over the course of the next month? I'd say Seattle as opposed to Miami, even with the starting pitching edge going towards. I mean, Meyer's not a guy I want to bet against. The question here is, can we bet on Wu? Because his numbers on the road have been so consistently bad. I mean, you go through the game logs, and every time he's on the road, he got right. Pittsburgh, 4 innings, 5 runs. Baltimore, 5 innings, 7 runs. And Detroit, he gave up 5 earned runs. Kansas City, start before that, 4. You know, so it's been, you know, at St. Louis, he gave up 7. It's not a disaster in every road start for Wu, but it's been consistent. And again, you look at the home numbers and the splits for Brian Wu, and it's, you know, it's one of those eye openers. At home, 6-0 with a 2.10 ERA. On the road, 1-6 with a 6.38 ERA. That's a home road dichotomy. But every bettor that is talking about this game is talking about that. And it's not like Wu's been going out there and getting lit up inning after inning, can't get anyone out. He's been victim to the big inning consistently on the highway. And Miami's bats, while they're okay, big innings, I'm not seeing a ton of them for Miami. So I'm going to go total here as opposed to the side. We're looking at 8 juice to the under in this contest. 8 under minus 10, minus 15, you know, in that range. And I like that under, especially with 8 being a push number for us, not a loss number for us. I thought this total would come out 7.5. That's where I priced it. At 8, there's a little bit of value to the under. And again, I think Wu, when we think about him conceptually, I don't think there's a reason that we should expect the big inning problem to continue game after game on the highway. I think there is some upside with Wu moving forward. Now, sometimes in baseball, you want to be reactive. You know, you want to wait until a player shows that a pitcher shows they turn their current form. And his current form on the road has been dismal. But I don't mind being a little proactive here and betting on Wu in this spot, along with betting on Meyer in a game that I think runs are going to be at a premium. So I'll go for Seattle, Miami under the total. We'll expect the pitchers to rule in a pitcher's duel in Miami this evening. Thanks so much for watching WagerTalk TV. Again, $5 Tuesday. I have my 4% AL game of the week. I had a 5% big ticket winner last night. I'm on a 67% run. Not a bad time to check it out. WT.buzz/TC or visit the website, wagertalk.com. And before you leave, smash that like button. Thank you. Comment below. Thank you. Have a great day and stay tuned right here on this channel for more quality video content from WagerTalk TV. Have a great $5 Tuesday. Cheers.